Fred McNair radio show on this Monday night. Glad you can join us here on the Braves Sports Network, the flagship station, 91.7 WPRL, The Gold, broadcasting from the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University, Alcorn Public Radio, and we're on TuneIn Radio. You go to tunein.com, go to Life 91.7 WPRL, or you can go to WPRL.org. Also in Natchez, they've been with us for a number of years, WMIS, WTYJ, 1240 AM, 97.7 FM. Fayette Natchez, they've been broadcasting in Southwest Mississippi for over 100 years. Diana Nutter, Calvin Butler, and crew doing a good job over there. And WGDQ 92.1 in the hub city, Hattiesburg, joining us here on the Braves Sports Radio Network. Glad you can join us, one and all, however way you might be checking this one out, whether watching or listening here on this Monday night. Coach Fred McNair, Braves victorious over Grambling on Saturday. Emotional game, physical game, a lot of scoring. Fans got their money's worth. It was built to be the game of the week, maybe one of the games of the year in the SWAC Conference, and it turned out to be just that. Coach McNair, good evening and congratulations.
Good evening, Charles. Before I get started, I do want to give some thanks out, Charles. Dr. Dunzel, the president, and give thanks to the foundation board for their support. I tell you, it was a whole lot better this weekend, Charles, with the communication system for that, man. I tell you, it works miracles. Probably without that, Charles, it'd been kind of tough to come out and play a game. But I thank them guys for their support and their giving, Charles, for the communication system. Outstanding. The coach was like early Christmas on Sunday morning. It's unbelievable, man, and I do want to thank those guys for their support and giving us that, have an opportunity for the communication system. It worked wonderful.
And it's called the CoachCom system. Grambling has a similar system, and coaches across the country or schools across the country have that same system. I understand it came in on Friday, and a representative from CoachCom was on campus helping getting it wired. It's a lot more sophisticated than most systems.
Like I said, the work goes out to those guys, the foundation board, and the job they did of getting here and amping up time for this game. You're talking about less than 2 or 3 days that it happened, and I do really, really want to appreciate them for their support, Charles, and I think really want to thank them.
All right, so let's get into the ball game, Coach. I mean, as we talked about, a terrific football game, probably the game of the year. It came down to the final seconds. We were down, we were up. Grambling came back, and it was one of those games that you won't forget, especially on this campus. There have been memorable games at Spinks Castle, and you can put this game in the hopper as well.
I tell you what, Charles, it was like it's a heavyweight bout, man, and two big teams battling out on the ground, man, and I think that each team left it after on the field, Charles, and I give credit to my guys and the coaching staff to the way they played with a lot of effort, a lot of emotions throughout the whole game. It's a non-stop. There's no quitting. It's finishing. Everything that goes in it. I think they poured it all into it, Charles, and that enabled us to come out with that victory on Saturday.
Well, let's get into it, Coach. We fell behind, and you talked about starting fast. Every pregame, you talk about starting fast, and right off the bat, a slow start as we fell behind 13-0.
Yeah, they come out and drove the ball for an 11-play, 75-yard drive, and I thought they did a great job of mixing it up on our defense there. But things kind of slowed down a little bit. Those guys were amped up and ready to play. So once they got settled in, Charlie, they settled in, and they got a couple of field goals there, and we came back late in the first quarter and we were able to get a touchdown there. So kind of got the game back close, and like I said, Charles, these guys they never quit, and they play relentless ball, and for a team to get behind 13 points early in the game and then they just fight their way back, you got to say a lot about that team and the way they played and the way these guys just put out.
Braves defense had 8 sacks. So let's talk about it, because we felt like going into the game, bringing pressure, and it's one thing to bring pressure, but when you bring pressure, you got to get home. And early, I thought in the first quarter, we were bringing pressure, weren't getting there, and the checkdowns, the screens, and all that were able to allow them to get some stuff done early.
I thought they did a good job of doing that, Charles. They get the ball out really quick and, doing the things that so we won't get to them. But, I think that once we start mixing up a little bit on defense, giving the quarterback something different to see, kind of slowed his reads down, and so he couldn't get it out as quick. And just like I said, the front seven, they would get home 8 times during the course of the game and come up with some big sacks and some fumbles. So we was good at that. So I thought that was Coach Thornton did a great job of mixing it up for him.
Well, we fell behind 13-0, but then a good punt return. Coach set up Waller's 12-yard run, 4 plays, 30 yards, and we needed a spark. And I thought special teams provided the first spark of the afternoon. I
think they're there. I had a meet today, Charles, and I think when I told them, I think we're getting better and better at the special team play. The kickoff team did an outstanding job. I think they averaged around the 23-yard line of starting field position, and that's tremendous when you're getting down the field like that. And just to have a little spark right there, to get things started, to get that score for that touchdown, I thought was good. The offense came along and got settled down and played good football. I thought that Coach Stanchek did a great job of mixing up with the kind of stuff that Grambling presents up front with their front seven. It's kind of tough when they chop it up like that. But I think Coach Stanchek kind of got settled in and gave us some good opportunities to make some big plays.
So it's 13-7 with Waller's running in McCullough. Been watching the NFL yesterday. Just tough day for kickers of the Saints game with Baltimore. A long PAT missed. Tough day for kickers, but McCullough came through in this situation. It was 13-10. So just talk about the play of the first quarter. We were down 13-0, and we got something going, and now we're only down 3.
Well, that's the biggest thing, Charles. Like I said, the guys never stop fighting, and in that first quarter, it's just the way we have to just settle down and play football. I thought we did a great job of getting settled down and giving us opportunity to score points. And then Corey came in and got a kick there for a field goal and get us down by 3 at 13-10 now. So I think he did a great job of kicking. He's a great kicker, and he's going to continue to improve. He knows what's wrong when he misses the field goal. That's the main thing about him. He is worst critic, and but he does a great job of kicking.
So it's 13-10 at that point. It's 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. Let's go to the phone lines. Marquise always joins us. Good evening, Marquise.
Hey, what y'all?
Good evening.
All right, Marquise.
Yeah, man. I got to say about them Braves, man.
How about the Braves, Marquise?
Yeah, but man, I feel when y'all made that touchdown, man, it was all over with.
All right, thank you very much, Marquise.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, Coach. Coach said big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. I think the Braves fans know who I'm talking about that said that statement here in this studio. And I tell you what, it came down to that, and you had to make big plays, especially on defense, as Grambling found some momentum late.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. And I think that we really poured it on then late in the game, Charles, when our defense was very stingy and did a great job. And like I said, big-time players make big-time plays. That's what it came down to, Even at the end there, we were getting ready to go in with the game tired. Noah made a good scramble and get out of the pocket and throw it down to Dale Harris, and he makes a big play right there, and enable us to get the ball in the end zone.
It was a tough first quarter, as you talked about. At one point, we were outgained 139-4 in the first part of that first quarter. Grambling was moving it up and down the field, but we were able to get back in it 13-10 at one point. We'll look at the second quarter coming up after this 1-minute timeout. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. Tweet a question, Tall Man Radio. Text a question. We've got a couple of texts already in the hopper, 601-348-7254, 601-348-7254. We'll be taking a timeout here. But first, calling all faithful alumni. We need every alum to be in Jackson at the state capitol Tuesday, March the 5th, 2019 at 8 a.m. for the annual Purple and Gold Day at the Capitol. Alcorn needs your support more so than ever as they receive full funding of our legislative agenda. That's Purple and Gold Day. Purple and Gold Day. Well, tongue-tied today, Coach. Tuesday, March the 5th, 2019 at 8 a.m. Purple and Gold Day at the Capitol. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back with the second quarter, and we'll talk all about it. A terrific football game, and you got to get ready for Prairie View. They were off, and it's their homecoming coming up this Saturday. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this on the Brave Sports Network.
So you haven't washed your lucky socks since that fourth quarter comeback 5 years ago. At C-Spire, we get it. You'll do anything to help your team win, just like anything we do is inspired by you. We're your biggest fan, lucky socks and all. From business to home to wireless, our inspiration is always you. C-Spire, customer inspired. Switch and save up to $500 on our best phones with trade-in. Details at cspire.com.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time. The whole experience was fine. If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Visit beready.iowa.gov. Brought to you by Ready Iowa, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair radio show here on this Monday night. Glad you can join us. If you've missed some or all of this show, of course, I'll post the entire show on my Facebook page. I'm on Facebook, Charles Edmond. I'm on Twitter, Tall Man Radio, and we'll post the entire show in case you missed some of it. Coach, I was looking at the numbers here, and it just when you go back and replay it in your mind, we were down 13-0, then we were up 23-13. We scored 23 points in about a 6-minute span. You go back to the first quarter in which we got our first points on the touchdown, and then the last points, Morrison, pick 6. That was 23 points in about a 6-minute span, game time, and that was pretty impressive how we were able to storm back.
And that's the thing that we talk to as coaches about, early and often, Charles. Score early and score often.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we always talk about during the course of a week, and we bring it to the players' attention that's what we need to do. So I thought that we did a great job of doing that, and we get a touchdown pass from Noah Johnson to Chris Blair, and then we come back with a pick 6 by Javen Morrison. I thought that was big there to get that done. So just going into the half, with a 23-13 lead was big for us, Charles. So and just going into the halftime, we knew we had to come back out and play, because that's what championship teams do. You got the Grammys that's going to play to the end. It's going to play a full 60 minutes. So going into half, we need to come back out and do more on the second half.
I thought on that pick 6 by Morrison, he just kind of sat, and once Hickbotham threw it to him, he had nothing but green grass, just catch it and run.
That's all they got to do. Just hope he don't get tripped over by the grass.
just talk about his play this season.
He's been a steady player for us, Charles, and you always talk about the little things and doing the little things right, and we constantly stay on him about things that he needs to do right, and I think he's getting over the line now to where he's understanding what we're really teaching him and trusting us to put him in the right spot. That's what we tell the players all the time: just trust us, and we're going to put you there to make plays. And I think that it's really coming of age right now to where he's understanding the process that we're trying to go.
So it was 23-13 at that point. So talk about your speech at halftime. I mean, we had a good run going. The game kind of settled in late in the first half, and we went into the locker room with that lead, and we talked about it, 23 points in about a 6-minute span. So what was your spiel at halftime to your team?
The biggest thing is, Charles, at the end, we always talk about finishing the game, and I thought that we came out in the third quarter. We had to sputtle in the third quarter, and then fought back in the fourth. But, we just got to be able to finish a 60-minute ball game, and I thought that we did that.
The defense really came up big. Hickbotham fumble, Bonds with a fumble recovery. And I tell you what, I mean, this defense was relentless, I thought, but a good quarterback finds ways, and you know that. We had knocked Hickbotham out for a play, and he came back, a touchdown run, and it made it for an interesting second half. We'll get to that coming up here, but let's go back to the phone lines. Artis Clark joining us from Hattiesburg, one of our affiliates, WGDQ 92.1, 50,000 watts of power down in the Hub City. Good evening. How you doing?
All right. How you doing, Coach?
What's up, Coach Mark?
All right. Number 81, is he back full speed yet?
Yeah, I think he's back with us, Coach, and I thought that he did some good things on the field, and I think that we could have made some big plays with him. We had several opportunities. He had a couple drops for us, and that's uncharacteristic of him. I think he's just trying to play too fast and letting the game come to him. A big game like this, the players like that really want to be a big part of what's going on in the offense. And I think he was pressing a little bit, trying to make plays, and in those cases that he made drops on us. But he's full speed right now.
I was really impressed with him in the Southern game. I thought he would have made a difference in the Alabama game had he been well.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a threat. He got good speed, and he does a lot of things well. You know, he was out just about all last year after the first 3 ball games. He was out with a shoulder injury, and he came back and he worked hard to get back on the field. And I think he's ready to play now. So he's a great addition and back to us, you know, to our part of our offense.
Mississippi Gulf coach, community college. He told me that he had a student athlete down there by the name of Chandler Stephen Phillips, and that he is the best DB in the state of Mississippi. Are we recruiting him?
Yeah, we're recruiting in that area. You know, when we get out, you know, during the course of all our home games, we always make a trip. So we done visit all the JUCOs in the state of Mississippi to the point where we can't visit them no more this year. But during the mid-year recruiting, we always have official visits. So we plan on getting those kids, all the kids we need to get here on campus for a official visit.
Okay, hope you have good luck Saturday.
All right, we appreciate you calling
Thank
in.
you, Coach Mark.
All right, 19 minutes after the hour. That'll get us to a break, and we'll take a time out here. And when we come back, we will look at the third quarter highlights and, of course, an exciting fourth quarter. The Alcorn State University National Alumni Association and the university is asking all alums to support the 1 Million Brave Strong Challenge. Help give the university the flexibility to fund scholarships, assist academic programs, acquire new technology, facilities, and more. We need at least 1,000 alums to give $1,000 or more by December the 31st to help raise an additional $1 million this year. For as little as $83.33 a month for 12 months, you can make an impact to help the university provide students with the tools they need to succeed. We'll take a break here. We'll look at the second half coming up after this on the Braves Sports Network.
P.J. Simmons at the ASU Braves will invade the Lone Star State to take on the Panthers of Prairie View A&M in Prairie View, Texas. Game time 2 pregame, 1:30. John Charles Walls of the Braves Evans and Emmanuel Barnes for all the play-by-play. Sandra Timmons sideline reporting on WPRL 91.7 FM and WPRL.org. It's ASU football. Don't you miss that.
Hi, this is Adam Rodriguez. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic? That means many of the future doctors, engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. Many support you, and the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net. Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
At WPRL 91.7 FM.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair radio show. Don't forget the Braves will play at Prairie View at Panther Stadium. Kickoff is 2 o'clock, another 2 o'clock game. We've had 4 6 o'clock games in a row, now 4 2 o'clock games in a row as we head to Prairie View, a huge game coming up. Let's go back to the phone lines here, 601-877-6595. Winland Brooks joining us on the telephone. Good evening. Pretty good.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
All right, Ms. Brooks, thank you very much. Always calling in support. There was a lot of support. There was a lot of fans making a lot of noise on Saturday. I mean, it was one of those back and forth. You know, I've got to see my doctor tomorrow morning at 8:30, and he told me no stress before the appointment. Well, I might have canceled my appointment because that was a stressor. You know, it pulled at your heartstrings there, Coach.
I tell you what, it's electrifying, Charles. You know, and as a coach and as a player, you know, I've been on both sides to where, you know, I understand the support of the fans and the things that they do at football games, but here at Alcorn, man, it's totally different, man, than where I've seen it other places, man. And you go to the other schools and you see the fans, but it's unlike the Alcorn State University Brave campus at Jack Castle Spring Stadium, man. It's electrifying, man. When they get to going, Charles, it's really rolling. And we got a penalty there on the end of the touchdown, and we scored to go up for the winning touchdown. And I told the guys that's some of the things we got to step from, but I didn't want to grip and tell them, but you know, it was exciting to see those fans and just harassing those players the way they did, man. It was exciting. I know the players enjoyed it, but it's electrifying here at Alcorn. The fans are tremendous. They does a great job being the 12th man on the field, Charles. And we as coaches and players, we really appreciate that. You know, the job that they do during the course of the game.
Well, you talked about that penalty, but you're saying that with a smile.
That was a great smile, Charles. Like I told him, I said, I'm just glad it was only about 9 seconds left in the game, you know, so it wouldn't have been that way. But, you know, we have to, like I talked to him about all that stuff, Charles, just the little things like that.
Yeah.
It kind of goes a long way when you mention it to them, you know, like, wow, oh, Coach, I didn't know, you know, if they had another minute or something left, you know, it'd be totally different, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But it was great for those guys. I'm proud of those guys where they put forth the effort.
Well, let's look at some of the third quarter coaches. We'll get with Edwin Williams coming up here in a moment. This was a game of momentum shifts. Big plays turned the momentum around, and we had the momentum in Noah Johnson trying to make something happen. A pass intercepted by Fontenot, and that got Grambling going as Orozco, one of the best kickers in this conference, a 52-yarder to make it a 23-16 game. And before you know it, the Tigers tied it up. So you talked about the momentum there. Higginbotham was knocked out of the game for a play, came back, then a 24-yard run. I don't think there's any question who's Grambling's quarterback going forward as they take on UAPB this week. Higginbotham was tough. I thought their backup would come in. He came in for one play, but Higginbotham came back in, and he made a big difference.
He was a tough quarterback, Charles, and we know he's big in size, and he threw the ball well. And, you know, that's one of the things that we talk as coaches, you know, about the way he played. You know, coming into the game that he was going to be a force to be reckoned with. But, you know, once we settled down and we beat up on him a little bit, Charles, but he's a tough dude, man. And I tell you, he did some good stuff to get him back in the game, you know.
So it was a back-and-forth game, 23-all game, buckle up for the fourth quarter. Let's go to the phone lines. Call from Louisville, joining us here on the Fred McNair Radio Show. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Fred.
Hey, what's going on?
You still got the Demar Club, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, why do you know, you need to start kind of, you know, on the radio, just so let folks know that they can do that you still got it and you stick with money. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And I got two more. Yeah, how is recruiting going?
It's going well right now. It's going well. We get a chance to get out on our home game to kind of see some high school, but you know, now it's in the crunch time. Now we got a couple games on the road. We won't be able to get out because the dead period is coming up pretty soon for us and for our official visit. So we just got to make sure we get those mid-year guys rolling for JUCO, and hopefully we can kind of grab a couple of those early graduating seniors out of high school.
And this is my last question. You know, Noah kind of nervous, you know. I mean, you know, in the first half, you know, I mean, you know, but you just get him to get out there and just turn it loose and have fun.
That's what I tell them before every game. Just go out and have fun.
All right, thank you. We appreciate your call.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm sorry. We appreciate your call here. We got another call coming in, so it's going to be a busy last 40 minutes or so in this game because there was so much to talk about. And the Tomorrow's Club. Just talk a little bit about that and how folks can get involved.
Well, it's Tomorrow Club, and Marcus, he does a great job of holding out Tomorrow Club for us, and you just make all donations to the ASU Foundation, Tomorrow Club, Market Football, however you want to do, make donations to that program, which he's over all the programs that's here in the foundation. But just anybody that want to make donations can donate to Tomorrow Club, and specific if they want to memoir to football or whatever sports they want to send it to, but just memoir football and it'll be taken care of.
All right, we're going to take an early break here, get the bottom of the hour in so we can look at this back and forth fourth quarter. Some instant replays, some reviews, some overturns, all that. So we'll talk about that. We'll get that break in right now. 27 minutes after 6 o'clock. We have tweets to get to, SWAC report, And we'll talk about Prairie View. All that coming up after this 1-minute timeout here on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
Alcorn State University and the Trademark and Licensing Administration have joined to coordinate the placement of the university marks, both externally and internally, on items including shirts, caps, or other products. The university licenses will only use those products which reflect positively upon the university and are in keeping with the university's mission. The trademark and licensing of the Alcorn State University insignia was established to protect the Alcorn State University name and identifying marks. Trademark and Licensing Administration works to preserve and promote the university's long-standing reputation as a center of academic and athletic excellence. Merchandise vendors wishing to use the university's identifying marks on commercial products must be licensed vendors who have obtained permission to use Alcorn State University marks by securing trademark licenses. Campus organizations that want university identifying marks on their internal use products must hire licensed vendors to produce these items. To learn more about the licensing and trademark requirements, visit www.alcorn.edu/trademark and licensing administration.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Brave Sports Network.
You are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show. Let's look at this fourth quarter. Grambling would go out on top on a field goal by Orozco to make it 26-23. Probably one of the big plays in the fourth quarter. Coach McNair, we're at our own 34-yard line with a 3rd down and 19, and Noah Johnson's passed to Juan Anthony for 25 yards. That was huge as that set up a game-time field goal by McCullough.
It was, Charles, and I thought Juan did a great job of getting in and making that catch in traffic. I mean, it was a tight fit throw, and I think Noah did a great job of putting it where it needed to be, and then to add on that to that field goal, 46-yard field goal, to tie that thing up there, Charles, was big by Corey.
But what also set up that field goal, we were faced with another 3rd and 19. So we're behind the chains on that drive. 3rd and 19 from Grambling's 39-yard line. And Noah Johnson with a 10-yard run. I mean, did pick up the 1st down, but it made it an easier field goal attempt.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Anytime you can kind of get it closer to the field goal, Charles, it's much better for us. And I thought Noah did a great job with his legs to get a 10-yard closer there.
All right, so it was 26-all, Coach. Talk about the last 12 minutes or so. It was just back and forth. Grambling got it with 6.5 left. We got it with 4:47 left. There was an overturn call there. It was a situation where yardage and all that, where P.J. Simmons' knee went down. So there was some hairy moments in that last 11 minutes of the fourth quarter.
It really was, Charles. It was a seesaw battle, like you said. There's two heavyweights going at it, man. And I thought that they did a great job of stopping us there on some downs, and then we come back and we stopped them on defense, and that was a seesaw battle that Charles for us. And unfortunately, we get the last say so about it, and almost I think it was a minute and 30 seconds I think on the clock we get the ball back to get him for that final touchdown.
Grambling burned a couple of timeouts, which really hurt them in the second half, and it really came back to haunt them at the end. 3:04 left. Grambling got the ball at the 20-yard line. Urban's 33-yard punt, and then there was an interference penalty, Coach, that really set things up as we got the ball at Grambling's 26 with 1:42 left.
Yeah, it really did in there, Charles, and we were faced with adversity there. Fortunately we got that flag on the punt, and then we still get in a position to try to at least kick a field goal or make a play, and I think we decided we were just going to try to get this thing won, Charles, with a minute and a few seconds left. So I think that we did a great job on offense with the coaches and getting the ball in and the score.
Yeah, we got it with 1:42 left. We had a 2nd and 20. Waller, no gain. Then 3rd down and 20, the play of the game. Noah Johnson rolling to his right, and then he hits Harris, perfectly thrown ball on the near sideline. I mean, just talk about that. Noah Johnson wanting to keep the play alive. I was telling Emmanuel Barnes, it almost looked like Joe Montana to Dwight Clark. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, he was going out of bounds, trying to just make a play. Dwight Clark comes up with it in that game against his Cowboys, and tell you what, a heck of a catch there by Blair to make it, by Harris, I'm sorry, to make it a good position for us.
It was. Noah did a great job of keeping the ball alive, and just the scramble drill, Dale Harris went down the sideline, and Noah gave him a chance to make a play, and that's what we talk about all the time. It's just give him a chance to make a play, and that's what he did. He made a play.
And then Blair's touchdown put the Braves up 33-26. I was thinking field goal all the way. Talk about that play that gave us a touchdown because Blair was wide open.
Well, the biggest thing is, with Coach Stanchek, we didn't have no timeouts left, and we want to at least take a shot. So Coach Stanchek called a rub route, and we didn't want to stand in the pocket anymore. We wanted to get outside of the pocket, and so we rolled out to the right. And in the worst case scenario, we'll throw it away and try a field goal attempt. But I think the play, it really worked, and Noah was able to find Blair in the back of the end zone.
So the Braves with a 33-26 lead, but then Grambling got the football, and Robinson, who had some big carries early in the game, he's a Ball State transfer, he had an edge on that right side, and he was tripped up at the last moment by Cole to save the game.
I tell you what, it wasn't a shoestring, it was a toe tackle. So it was a toe tackle, so it was big, man. I tell you, like I said, those guys, they played outstanding ball game, Charles, and just the preparation through the week, and last week you see how competitive it was during practice. It was unreal on that Wednesday. I didn't have to say nothing the whole week, Charles, and I told them I wasn't gonna say nothing. They brought their own energy. It wasn't no big speeches that I gave. These guys know what they're facing, and they know what it's going to take to win this ball game. And all week it was the guys just being loose and having fun and practice and getting there and understand what we have to do to win this ball game. And I thought that was real good of them. Some guys taking leadership and getting those things done during the course of practice. And I thought that was real big because on Wednesday you would thought that we was playing for real out there, Charles, where they was competing. I hope that gets carries on throughout the rest of this week and the rest of the year, the way they come out and compete in practice. But it's a good sign of things like that when you see the young men doing that in practice and not hurting each other, know how to practice and do things of that nature. That's one of the biggest things that we as coaches, we always get kind of scared of, but it's good to see them do that.
Braves won 33-26. We're going to go to the phone line. Cedric Foster's joining us, and I can guarantee you that Cedric Foster, one of the questions he's going to ask is, where are we in the standings? Am I right or wrong, Cedric Foster?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to say this. I am going to make this brief statement. Coach Charles, I just listened to the broadcast and then watched it on ESPN3, and I'm telling you, that was one exciting game. Noah threw that, looked like off the back shoulder with a few seconds left, and he called it. Now, Coach, I do want to ask this question, but I think you answered it earlier. I was watching, Jay and Eric, or whatever, Clemens, I believe.
Eric Clemens, right.
Yeah, they were saying, okay, well, let him put it in the middle of the field and kick that field goal. And I'm saying, well, that sounds like a good idea. But that was a gutsy call to get that touchdown to put the nail in the coffin. Because I noticed in watching it, that defensive back just came in and he was wide open, boy. I tell you, that was a pretty play. It was excellent. Congratulations, Coach. I'm so excited. And the other thing is, my daughter showed me this on, I guess they got it online. They got CM Black College ranking. We number 2 and FAMU number 1. And that would be nice. Look, that'd be nice. We make that Celebration Bowl, and we play FAMU in the Celebration Bowl. Man, I'm gonna be talking smack. Okay, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, Willie Simmons, former offensive coordinator here, head coach at Prairie View, doing some good things in Tallahassee. So you look at the game, Coach. The penalties, obviously, we had some penalties in there. Obviously continuing to try to clean that up.
Yeah, and I thought that it was pretty clean. We had a couple holding penalties. We had another chop block again, unfortunately, of that nature. So we still in the process of we just gotta keep winding on these young men, Charles, just to play a clean game, And we had 9 penalties for 80 yards, of course. It's a little less than what we had last week, Charles, and I just gotta keep talking to the young men about penalties, the false starts and things of that nature. And we're just trying the best to do it the best way we can as coaches to get it cleaned up.
So as we look at the numbers, this was a game that featured 147 plays. Grambling outgained the Braves 376 to 308. The Braves had 148 yards rushing. Coach, when I asked you about P.J. Simmons, just 8 carries, and it got me wondering. I mean, we know P.J.'s been the horse, but you've got Waller, Foreman. Just talk about P.J. Simmons, and you know, is it something going on with him, or
no,
just
he's been banged up a little bit, Charles,
yeah.
And you know, we just trying to get him back healthy. We don't want to overload him too quickly, Charles, but we're just trying to get him back to rap form where P.J. is really comfortable. You know, I don't think he's comfortable right now playing the way he's playing, but you know, we give him limited touches and just trying to get him back to full gear, Charles. But you know, Waller, he's doing a great job of carrying the load, the big bucks of the carry. But we try to distribute those between P.J. as well. So P.J., he's still doing a great job for us as well, too, Charles.
You talk about Foreman. We don't have him in the stat sheets.
Yeah, Marquise, I mean, I think that we got caught up between the big backs and P.J., and I thought that, you know, we did a great job. Normally we move them in and out, but protection-wise, that's where we get kind of mucky at with protection-wise, because Grambling is sending 6 every time. So they send a 6-man pressure every time. So Marquise a little undersized back, and they would just take full advantage of that with Marquise. So we didn't want to put him in that predicament of trying to put in protection.
Receiving, the leading receivers, Harris, 3 for 50 yards, and of course defensively, Terry Winnington, National Defensive Player of the Week, SWAC Defensive Player of the Week, 15 tackles, 6 TFLs, tackles for loss. That was huge, Coach. I mean, just an impressive situation.
It was a great game for him, Charles, and he received and he earned everything that he got for his accolade, Charles. And this is a young man that didn't play last year due to a lot of injuries, and he came back this year, and he was hungry, and he did everything he could to get back to rap form with his treatment and with his rehab and stuff, Charles. And this kid here is unreal. He's an undersized, great speed guy. He's a phenomenal player, Charles, and hopefully this will carry on with him, and just being hungry as he was against Grambling. Man, I tell you, he played a great game.
Third down conversion, we were 7 of 18 there. We talked about our defense, 8 sacks on the game as the Braves win 33-26, and one of the better SWAC football games we've seen on this campus in a long time. Let's go back to the phone lines here as the time is 40 minutes after. We'll get you your tweets and texts coming up. Kermit, as always, joins us from Big D. Good evening, Kermit.
How you doing, dog?
Good evening.
All right, Karen, appreciate it, man.
Coach, I want to ask you something. I'm trying not to be biased or something all Coach saying. Coach, I went back home and looked at that replay of that game, and I think Corey had every right to be pissed off, Coach. Coach, I broke that damn thing down frame by frame, and it still looked like that. I think it was extra point he missed. It still looked like it went through the upright.
And I looked at it several times, and I can't find a reason why they call it no good. You know, it looked good to me too, Kermit. I promise you. And Corey, you know, he see it from back eye of it, and you know, I don't understand it. Even the commentators said it was good. You know, and just that little stuff like that. You know, it could come to a pivot point of the game where now we up by 1 point instead of being tied now. So. But you know.
And my other thing I want to ask you, Coach, on this play in the fourth quarter, when they called catch interference, did we call a fair catch on that?
No, we did not call a fair catch, and
why did they get the play and make it dead? That's a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once they do that, this is what they told us in the ruling. Once a player make contact with a player that's vulnerable, as Charles was, you know, they'll call it dead. They made contact with him, so they had to blow it dead. It's almost as he signaled for a fair catch, but he didn't. And I wish that he would have, because that's dangerous there, man. You're in a vulnerable position to be knocked out. And I was kind of furious with Charles about it, because he didn't fair catch it, which he should have. But it was kind of, they blew it dead right there. Once they threw the flag, it was a dead ball.
Well, I looked at that today, Coach. That is not a dead ball.
And I didn't think it was either, but that's the rule of interpretation they give us. But I you know, the rules that they give us sometimes is not the rules that they do. So I have to stay away from those referees sometimes.
Well, maybe we can get to the and you can see some of that stuff and see what y'all guys complain about. Well, keep up the good work, Coach.
All right, thank you, Kermit.
All right, we appreciate it, Kermit. The time is 43 minutes after. We'll get to the tweets and the text, the SWAC report, and we'll look at PVU. It's their homecoming. And again, I say it, we seem to catch a team either following a bye week or on their homecoming. I mean, it's just amazing. And you know what? You know, you look at the SWAC schedule, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Alabama State, and that's the team we got to keep an eye on. They play Alabama A&M in the Magic City on Saturday. They've only played 2 division games.
Yeah,
I wonder how did that happen?
So they don't have a bye.
3 byes, I think.
This that was their second bye. Then they got a bye after they play A&M before they play out. I mean, this is the preview. I mean, they got, man, it's just 3 byes in a whole year. You know? Like I told them, I said if I had to do the schedule, I have a bye before I play everybody. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, we've been full tilt, Charles. And like I said, I take my hat off to these young men. And they don't complain about nothing, Charles. They go to class and they go to work ready to play. So come to work ready to practice. So these guys understand what we're facing. And, you know, like I tell them, in spite of, we just got to keep moving.
Before we take our break, I want to ask about a horrible collision that occurred. And we have the ESPN replay monitors up there, Farrell and Brady Smith. That was horrifying.
It was good to see those guys get up and walk off the field, Charles, you know, because it was a scary moment with Brady, especially, you know. I think Trey just got the wind knocked out of him, and if you ever had the wind knocked out of you, Charles, you feel like you're almost paralyzed, man, and that's a bad feeling, and you can't breathe and all that stuff. But I think that was his issue with Brady. You know, he got some more stuff going on with him. I think he's on a concussion protocol, so we keep an eye on him. I think they had a doctor's appointment today with him, but he'll be okay, hopefully, you know, with this doctor visit. And I'll get back with Jaleesa as soon as everything's over with and just see how everything went for his doctor visit.
All right, so we'll take a break here. Still a lot to get to, and we'll take a time out. We'll be right back at 45 minutes after 6 o'clock. The Fred McNair radio show on the Braves Sports Network will continue in 60 seconds.
What if you only needed one company to take on all your technology challenges? Introducing the new C-Spire Business, the industry's first full-stack managed solutions provider. Over 500 service professionals, over 8,600 miles of fiber, and the 9th-ranked cloud in the entire world, all into a single managed IT portfolio. The new C-Spire Business. Consider IT managed. Learn more at cspire.com/business. C-Spire, customer inspired.
One day, I'll teach chemistry to kids.
I'm going to be an architect.
My dream is to be a chef.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds, making higher education possible for anyone at any stage of life.
I can go back to college.
I can change careers. I can make a difference. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair radio show, 46 minutes after 6 o'clock. Of course, you can text us a question anytime you want, 601-348-7254. B.J. Jackson always texts us every week, and he asks, Coach, do whatever you need to do to keep Coach Thornton. We love him as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, Coach. He's doing a great job in the things he do with that defense.
What's been the biggest improvement you're seeing in the defense now compared to week 1 against Georgia Tech?
Yeah, just the speed of it, Charles. I mean, these guys are playing fast. The front seven's doing a great job of mixing it up and with their stunts and twists and everything and blitzes and all that stuff, Charles. They doing a great job, man. So, you know, those guys are playing fast and those big boys up front, they taking a load, man. So they're in good football shape and they're doing a great job right now.
Yeah, I've never had the sense this season, Coach, where conditioning has been a factor. These guys look like they're ready to play 2 games. I mean, I just never got the sense you don't see guys bent over. I mean, Coach Maddox doing a good job with that.
Well, that's one thing that I told Coach Maddox. We're going to make sure the young men's in shape when the season starts. So we haven't had any problem with guys cramping up or anything of that nature. And we run just about every day, Charles. So we're going to continue to do that. That won't be a letdown for us not being in shape.
Tweet coming in. I am 3 hasn't tweeted us in a while. He has a comment. Coach really liked that 3-man rush with Winnington in the middle on third and longs. Will we see more of that?
Yeah, it just depends on what the offense is trying to do, and it depends on the down and distance, in those situations. It just seems like whatever present that we, especially when it's coming third and long and things of that nature, Charles, we want to protect our zone there.
All right, so just a few tweets and text. You can tweet us anytime, Tall Man Radio, or text a question, 601-348-7254. Now on to the SWAC scoreboard, just a light schedule. Of course, the Braves got it done against Grambling, North Alabama over Jackson State, 24-7. Mississippi Valley got their first win of the season in double overtime on their homecoming, 48-47 over UAPB. And Southern University, they control the West, and they beat Texas Southern 21-7. Now on to the standings, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, where are we at this point? We're 4-1. We played 5 games. We have 2 division games left. Prairie View Saturday and Jackson State on November the 17th. Jackson State is 2-1. They play at Southern on Saturday. Alabama A&M 2-2. Bama State, we talked about it in the last segment, they've only played 2 division games, and Coach McNair, they have not played an on-campus at Hornet Stadium. They have not played an on-campus conference game. They've got a home-heavy schedule after Saturday with the Magic City. So Bama State's the team we need to keep our eye on, even though we've played at this point 3 more games. Of course, Bama State beat us a few weeks back, so we got to keep our eyes on that. Bama State still is Jackson State. They have Alabama A&M coming up. They have Valley coming up. They